Crime in Nampa remains below the national average, but residents have concerns. We asked the candidates for their assessment of public safety and what specific steps they would take to keep crime rates low.
Well, I think we have to continue to support, our police. I've had a great conversation, meeting with Chief Joe Huff. He's a wonderful person. I love the integrity, the ethos of what and the standards by which this police force adheres to is very impressive. The technology, I'm very into tech. I love tech. I love, leaning into AI. I think, it's here, it's the future. We need to incorporate our young people into ag tech and health tech to look at, new industries that we can foster. But, back to police, absolutely, 100%. We have to make sure we have police. I have a family, so it's personal. I want to make sure my family's safe, right? We have to also figure out how we're going to create more revenue for our city so that we can support growth with our police force and other services as well.
Chief Huff, our police department, our dispatch, admin, they do an amazing job. Our law enforcement is they're a shining example, not just through the state, but the country. I'm proud of our law enforcement. As chief of staff and previously as city council, got to work closely with the men and women in our force. And the reason they've been successful, they have several things. They've connected with the community in many ways to build trust with the community. They've also leveraged data. So this goes back to my data-driven approach to governance, is they've leveraged CompStat, which is a data-driven policing model. It really kind of started in large metros like Los Angeles and New York, and we've incorporated it here in Nampa, and it's to police smarter, right? Sometimes just adding more people doesn't necessarily solve the problem if you're not leveraging tools to be smarter. And so Nampa has been blessed to be able to leverage CompStat, data-driven policing. We're able to punch above our weight, as it were. That being said, we still need to make sure we hire staffing. When we keep adding more and more subdivisions and there's calls like domestic disputes and all of these calls, we need to make sure. I've done ride-alongs with our law enforcement. I'll tell you, the one vulnerability that really concerns me is when you have a single officer responding to a domestic call and they're the first on scene, and it might be a little dicey. It might take a little bit of time for backup to arrive. And so I think it is important to make sure that our staffing levels are adequate so that we don't put the men and women in our force in danger, and that we also keep the public safer by being able to de-escalate situations in a rapid fashion. So we need to make sure that as we grow, we look at the tax base and prioritize public safety. It's the top concern, along with traffic, that our community has when it comes to quality of life, and I'm committed to make sure that we stay safe.
Well, you got to create a presence. If you create a presence of law enforcement, now I'm not saying call it a police state or a police city, but if you create a presence and people see officers running around, whether they're a part-time officer or they're a full-time officer, they see a cop, you're pretty much, you're watching your P's and Q's. So when it comes down to the crime in the city, there's been a little bit of an uptick, but with growth, that's going to happen. Now, if we go back to more policing, community outreach programs, just having a presence alone deters crime.
I work well with the chief of police. That's one thing. And another thing is I'm going to have, as mayor, town hall meetings with the chief of police and attendants. The public needs to get to know our officers. And also our officers need to go in areas just like Caldwell's doing, in high crime areas, and be proactive, solve crimes before they ever start. You do those kind of things, and Nampa citizens will feel safer. You have to be transparent with the citizens. Right now, we have the city council meetings on YouTube. We also have to have the meetings live on cable television. That way, the people that don't get YouTube still see the council. If you get more citizen involvement in our government, you'll solve a lot of these problems.
Anything else to add there? 30 more seconds.
Well, we probably could use some more officers as well. Right now, it is kind of a challenge to pay for more officers. We have to find a way to get enough revenue to be able to do that.